Right, and that was Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressing the media. In his address, the Prime Minister said that the budget session of the Indian Parliament is very, very important. It commenced yesterday with President Draupadi Murmu's address, where she also hailed Bharat's women-led development, Operation Sindoor, and India's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. The Prime Minister said that it's a very important session for all of us. He praised Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lavished praise on the recently concluded India-EU Free Trade Agreement, terming it as the mother of all deals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urged everyone to focus now on quality of products which will be going to the European countries now that the trade agreement between India and EU has been finalized. He also said that the government has a special focus on reform, perform and transform, and it has now boarded, in fact, the Reform Express. He also talked about long-term solutions which will be very crucial for the nation's progress. Prime Minister Modi also said that India's democracy and demographic strength are a great hope for the world, among other things that he said while addressing the media. And we have also been joined by my colleague Akshay Dongre on the phone line. Hi Akshay, very good morning to you. While addressing the media today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke about a lot of things, including the fact that India has now boarded the Reform Express. My colleague Akshay Dongre will be joining us really soon on the phone line. But that was Prime Minister Narendra Modi who addressed the media. All right, and my colleague Akshay Dongre is in fact joining me live from Delhi. Hi Akshay, a very good morning to you. Akshay, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said a lot of things while he was addressing the media just a while back. He said that he hailed the India-EU Free Trade Agreement and also termed it as the mother of all deals. Tell us about that and other things that Prime Minister Narendra Modi said while briefing the media. Akshay.
Well, classic Prime Minister's speech once again just ahead of the budget session,
Right.
that is also the longest and perhaps one of the most important session of the parliament.
Right.
Sort of outlines the entire budgetary allocation for the next fiscal year. And what we saw was once again a robust speech by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to energize the nation just ahead of the upcoming budget session, as well as the announcement of budget that is going to take place soon on the upcoming month. So Prime Minister spoke on a lot of issues, but obviously, as you rightly mentioned, he specifically mentioned the sort of news that has come just ahead of the budget session that has energized the market in form of a free trade agreement with 27 countries of Europe.
Yeah.
As we have entered into a free trade agreement with the European Union, that is in fact a great news for the Indian manufacturers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has specified and focused on the point that the manufacturers should now that the market is open, they should now focus on quality. And it's not just that we have to earn money and sell products to the European countries and the countries that we have free trade agreement with, but also we have to win their hearts by quality products that we make in the country and make a mark for our market as well as our manufacturing sector around the world. So he spoke about quality when it comes to market access, because
Yeah.
he said that if you want to remain or rather leave a last-longing imprint on your customers, then you have to deliver them quality products so that they become your customers for life, and that is how you build onto a market. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been the Chief Minister of Gujarat, a state that is considered, among the top states that have quite, sort of historic trade ties with the rest of the world, with Gujarati community, especially doing trade with across the world in terms of textiles, in terms of other things, and has a mark for itself around the world. So, Prime Minister knows quite a lot about doing business when it comes to the world, the global markets, and the kind of imprint that you can leave with the quality products that you make. So Prime Minister focused on that. But on the other hand, he also spoke about the last quarter of the century
Yeah.
of independence is concerned. So Prime Minister has said that we envision a developed India by 2047, And if you look at a 100-year period since our independence, then 75 almost years have gone now, and we are in the last quarter of this century of independence. So our focus really should be on being self-reliant, being focused on our manufacturing sectors, our agriculture sector, our other sectors that are the building blocks of our economy, and should really focus on growing as far as we as a nation are concerned. And to make that into a reality, Prime Minister also has said that the opposition leaders will have to come together with the government. All sort of, in fact, he did not just single out the opposition leader. He spoke about all the honorable members of parliament,
Right.
saying that everyone will have to come together. Everyone will have to come together with the vision of a developed India by 2047. And though there will be internal, disagreements on several topics, we will have to really see that what exactly benefits the country as a whole. And Prime Minister also spoke that how even though he has critics, and like any politician in the world, there will be critics of everyone. But Prime Minister also said that even the critics agree that this government has, in fact, focused on last mile reach,
Last mile solution,
and
yeah.
all the policies that are made by this government are made
Long-term
by the
solution.
government, keeping the last man in the queue in mind. And that exactly is what Gandhiji's talisman also spoke about. If we read these in our NCRT books during school, that Mahatma Gandhi also spoke about that anytime we are in despair, we question our reality, we should think about our actions and how they benefit the last person in the queue. So Prime Minister speaking up exactly about that, and saying that even though he has critiques, his actions may have certain disagreements with the opposition parties, but everyone believes that the government is working towards the benefit of the last man in the queue, as well as the first person who's standing there. Also sort of a wholesome speech, an egalitarian speech, speaking about everyone. Prime Minister spoke about fishing community. Prime Minister spoke about the agriculture community, and said that all of our communities will have to come together to utilize this free trade agreement, and not just with the European countries, but the other 25 other countries that we have signed FTA with as well. So now we have a huge market opened up for us, for our industries. And now what we really have to do is deliver good products, quality products, to leave a mark there out in the world, so that more countries come up and turn up in queues to sign similar kind of agreements with our country, and so that we can really be there as far as global trade is concerned.
Definitely, and that's where the focus should be. Akshay, you pointed out really right, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said, that focus now should be on the quality. Now that India has concluded the largest FTA with the European Union and 27 countries, like you were also mentioning, you closely covered, in fact, the India-EU Free Trade Agreement, in fact, the mother of all deals, which is being hailed by many global leaders across the globe as well, and it will provide opportunities for people on both the sides. Akshay, reform, perform and transform. This is what the focus of the government is. This is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also said. And in fact, let me tell you what he said on the India-EU FTA as well. He said it's a symbol of hope for youth. And Akshay, youth is very much crucial when it comes to the development of the country. So tell us something about that, the reform, perform and transform, and that the nation has now boarded on the Reform Express. Akshay.
Well, obviously, there are reforms happening in many sectors. We have seen reforms in the tax structure. We have seen reforms in the GST very recently taking place, reforms in the tax slabs that have happened, reforms in the way the country does business, reform in a range of issues that have been initiated by this government in the last 10 years. Now, now what we need to do as citizens, as what the manufacturing industry, the service industry, the agri industry have to do is to perform, and that will lead to a transformation of the country. So the reform part is with the government, the perform part is with the country as a whole, including the government as well as the people, the industries, and everyone coming together, and that is what will lead to a transformed India, a developed India by 2047. And that is something that the government is working at a full accelerated pace, so that even we can even aim at an earlier date, that we do not just stick to timeline. We are aiming to perform, and even beat the deadlines that we have given us, and that is what the focus is on there right now. And to turn this into reality, the youth will have to play a central role as far as the country's economic conditions are concerned, economic opportunities are concerned, which have been thrown open by the reforms that have been done by the government.
Definitely. And Akshay, India's vision of Viksit Bharat 27 seems like that it is now turning to a reality. And perhaps before 2047, we will achieve India's vision of Viksit Bharat with the way the country is progressing. Thank you so much for your analysis, Akshay. That was a wonderful analysis. Thank you so much.